Hello fellow guitarists, I've had quite a few people ask me about my tone and how I get it. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be disappointed to know that I don't use an amp. The reason I don't use an amp is because I live in a flat, or an apartment as they're known in America, and have people all around me, so it would be a little bit unfair. I'm sure most of you have seen my Laney stack, which sounds pretty amazing. It's actually the same amp head, not the exact same one, but the same model amp head that Nuno Bettencourt used on the first Extreme album. So it's got a pretty rocking sound. Anyway, to cut to the chase, what I actually use is the Boss DR880, which a lot of you will know as a drum machine. This has got all the usual drum machine type stuff on it, so preset rhythms, etc., which I use for jamming along. But when it comes to recording my videos and songs, I like to program the drums myself and use the fake bass it has on it, and then I re-record the bass with a proper bass guitar afterwards. But what also comes with this is a built-in effects processor, which is where my sound comes from. So if I go to Effect, you can see EVH, oh yeah. So if we look at that, this is just the 5150 preset on this drum machine, and I have the gain fairly low, it's on 45 out of 100. The bass is on 73, middle 7, treble 100, presence 97, and the overall level is 45, which doesn't seem very loud. So that's where most of my sound comes from. I don't actually know what else. There's a noise suppressor on it, chorus on there, fairly low level chorus, because don't want it to sound like it's underwater, and don't use the delay on here when I'm recording. But I do use a little bit of reverb. I've got it set on Hall, and the time is 1.6 seconds. So that's where the sound comes from. I then record it into my laptop, and onto Sonar 3 is what I'm using, which is some quite old recording software, but it kind of works for me. And then all I will do in the mix is I will add a little bit of treble on the software, and then a tiny bit of reverb and some stereo delay, just to spread out the sound, but none of that is particularly high level. And then I will double track the guitar as close as possible, and that gives you a nice thick sound. So just in case any of you have forgotten what it sounds like, this is the tone. Hope that's given you all the information you need. Maybe you should go and buy yourself a Boss DR880, or just stick to a good old amp, but that's what works for me. Cheers.